Hi comrades, happy Thursday. Today I'm going to be watching a classic. 1989, Stephen King's Pet Sematary. I read the book about 2 years ago, I want to say, and it is hands down the scariest horror book I've ever read. So I'm very curious to see how this movie is going to go and if there are any changes from the book to the movie like there are in the 2019 version of Pet Sematary. If you're not very familiar with the story, here is a little summary for you. Dr. Lewis's Creed's family moves into the country house of their dreams and discover a pet cemetery at the back of their property. The cursed burial ground deep in the woods brings the dead back to life with minor problems. At first, only the family's cat makes the return trip, but an accident forces a heartbroken father to contemplate the unthinkable. This is going to be really good. I'm super excited. I'm going to watch the movie in popcorn time and just do my usual where I kind of check in whenever I want to. See you soon. So here it is. And the name is actually misspelled on purpose because in the original story in the book, it was actually children that wrote the little sign for the pet cemetery. And because they're children, they of course misspelled it. So Sematary. So a family moves in. They have a cat, a little boy. I think his name is Gage, and they live right by a highway. This is mom, dad, the older sister, and look at how fast the cars go by, literally right by their house. This is foreshadowing, by the way. Here's their neighbor that lives right across the street. In the book, I remember him being a lot more creepy, especially in the beginning of the book, but in the movie, the family warms up to him pretty fast. Now their neighbor is showing them the area, including the pet cemetery. That's where all the neighbors bury their dead pets, and it's kind of like a tradition where everybody buries their pets. Pet cemetery. And most of the pets, of course, died because of the highway that they all live right by. Foreshadowing. Even his dog that died when he was younger is buried at the cemetery, so it's a very, very old tradition. Now his daughter is stressing out big time because she thinks her cat is gonna die. The cat's name is Churchill, and they call him Church for short. I think it's pretty cute. Lewis here, he's a school doctor, and on the first day of school, or I guess first day of his work, somebody got hit by a truck. And his brains are showing. He's dead. Oh, okay. I guess not. He's freaking out because that guy knew his name. Oh, and because he was still alive. Now he's seeing him in his dreams. Or I guess, should I say nightmares? Okay, that was a very interesting special effect. And now he's following him. I don't know for what reason, and why would you ever need to do that, even if it's just a dream. But they're going to the pet cemetery.
The barrier. I just want to wake up, that's all.
Just wants to wake up, that's all. This guy's getting lifted and fading away, and he's blaming himself for his death. That sucks. I guess the perk of being a doctor is people dying on you. And his feet are dirty, so that means it was not a dream. That sucks. The cat is dead. And he also promised his daughter that everything is going to be okay with the cat. So not only is the cat is dead, but also he's technically breaking his promise to his daughter. So the neighbor just kind of suggested to bury the cat at the pet cemetery. He also doesn't really want to tell his daughter anything because it's Thanksgiving holidays and his family went to the in-laws' house, and because the in-laws and him are not getting along, he stayed behind, and the mother and the two kids went to the grandparents' house. So they left, and a cat died. But the place where he needs to bury the cat is like above the pet cemetery, because that's the pet cemetery, but his neighbor is taking him somewhere else. They like have to go through the woods and like a rocky part. This was all in the book, by the way. So they made it up, all the way up to an Indian burial ground, and the neighbor is making him bury the cat himself. He said he has to do it himself. And the ground is very hard. So it's been like hours. And my man just finished. He's on his phone with his daughter and she's asking how her cat is.
I guess he's just fine, Ellie. I haven't seen him this evening, but...
Well, make sure you put him down soft before you go to bed so he won't run out in the road.
Yuck.
He already ran out on the road, honey. Your cat is dead. He's alive. That's what the pet cemetery does. Brings back dead things. Now he's like, I guess he wasn't dead, you know? And he thinks that Churchill just kind of clawed his way out of there. Now the neighbor is kind of telling him his side of the story, where when he was a kid and he buried his dog Spot, his dog came back. But he wasn't quite like his dog. Do you see that little toy mouse? He brought him a little gift. Thanks, Church. She's either the neighbor's wife or I don't remember her in the book at all. Or like a maid or something, and she has cancer and she's killing herself because she can't take the pain anymore. But I don't think this happened in the book. I don't remember this at all. Is that Mr. King himself? He looks so silly. They're burying the lady. But in the book, he had a wife who was like sick too. So maybe that was his wife. I don't really know. It'd be cool if he had a wife in the movie too. I don't know why they just kind of took her out. She's taking the death or the suicide of that lady very hard because it kind of like goes back and forth to her childhood where his sister was sick with tuberculosis, I believe. Tuberculosis or scoliosis? Something osis where like your back is crooked, and she like remembers her as this monster, I guess. In the book it was very, very sad because she had to care for her sister because her parents wouldn't. And she did it as a kid, and because her sister was like in so much pain, she didn't treat her very well. So she's got some trauma from that too. She was home alone when her sister died, and she like feels like it was her fault. The mom just got like a bunch of issues from her childhood. Poor woman. Guys, this scene is coming up. I'm scared because I know what's gonna happen. Don't turn away. You have to keep looking at your son. Ah! Ah! Oof. In the book, yep, there it is. In the book, there was just a shoe. Now they're all dealing with the grief. He's not dealing very well. Okay, now we're at the funeral. Oh my god. So, the in-law is blaming the dad for the death, and everybody's freaking out. Look, even the casket fell. Dude, that's freaking crazy. Fuck you. Let's not forget about the weird-ass cat. He's obviously thinking about burying his son at the cemetery and try to bring him back. And he's like, don't you freaking dare. Because everybody that comes back, at least all the animals that have come back, are all a little weird. Now he's telling him a story how he actually lied that no person has ever been buried at the cemetery. So 4 days after his funeral, he came back.
Lots of folks saw it till they walking back forth. It may look like that person, but it ain't that person. Because whatever lives in the ground beyond the Pet Sematary ain't human at all.
Really good SFX.
Louis, sometimes Dad is better. The Indians knew that.
And he said sometimes that is better like 50 times already. He's just trying to tell him to not bury his son. Do not bury your son at the Pet Sematary. Just don't bury your son at the Pet Cemetery. Don't bury your son at the Pet Cemetery. Okay, I guess that was them making up the in-laws and the dad. Poor girl is having very visionary dreams about him and her brother, and she somehow knows Victor Pascal's name, who was the guy with the open head in the very beginning of the movie. So as soon as his family left, guess what he's gonna do? So first step is obviously he needs to first get his son out of the ground at a real cemetery.
He's a good ghost. He says he sent to warn us. He says he was...
She knows. Like, she, like, is seeing dreams of the guy from the beginning of the movie, Victor Pascal, or whatever his name is, like, warning her to warn her dad that he's gonna do something bad. Her dad is gonna do something bad. That's what she thinks. She's starting to remember.
She said Pascal?
He was trying to help me because Daddy was helping him when his soul
Incorporate.
It clicked. He's back at night. Because he obviously can't dig a grave in the middle of the day. In the book, it was like a very tough thing for him to like hop over the fence, get like the right time, the right tools, stuff like that. It was like a few chapters long. She's trying to reach her husband, but he's not picking up, so she called the neighbors instead.
We're going to be here a while, and he needed a few days to close things up back there.
No. I'll tell him to call you.
Don't bother, Jed. I'm coming home.
She said, I'm coming home. And the neighbor, like,
Goodbye.
he has a feeling that something's going on because he's not at home. He's got to be somewhere. See, they're like patrolling the area and stuff. But of course, they didn't see a huge pile of dirt. He got it. And I guess he doesn't mind that his son is like decomposing already. Okay. Okay, now she's kind of growing crazy too. She's like having visions of her old sister.
I'm coming for you, Rachel.
For letting us die.
It was only just a dream. Let's not forget about the hike up that he has to do with his dead son and tools. His wife was trying to go home, but there were no planes available, no bus tickets available, so she rented a car and crashed it in the woods because why wouldn't she? Okay. He buried him. He wants him back.
Come back to us.
Okay, the neighbor was kind of waiting guard, but obviously fell asleep. And now he is investigating. Look, he sees the little footprints. He saw the little footprints. So he knows he knows what happened. They're fucked.
Where did you come?
He is evil with his dad's scalpel. Very interesting. Alright, Our Lady got a ride from one of the trucks that killed her son.
Thank you so much.
Make nothing of it.
Hell, I didn't get a ticket, lady, so you're welcome. Whatever you...
Oh, Gage. Gage.
I'd like you something, Mommy.
Alright, so he put down his cat.
Lie down. Play dead.
So he's going to his neighbor's house and he sees his wife's purse. Uh-oh. He found his neighbor. I guess Cage ate some more of him. Oh my god. He hung his mom. What the hell? Did you see him just fly down? What's going on? He has to put down his son too now. That's so crazy. Not only did he not watch after his son, so he got ran over, but I guess he killed him too. How sad. He's dead. But now his wife is dead too. And his neighbor. Okay, I guess one way out is to set everything on fire. And now he's taking his wife to the cemetery. Zero lessons learned. In the book, I'm pretty sure the last thing that we saw was like him taking his wife to the cemetery. Oh. Oh. Oh, she's gonna kill him. Wow. Man, what a good story. This is definitely a 10 out of 10. And the movie is done so well. And like the storyline. And I know that it's a Stephen King story and that's why it's really good. But this movie is actually good too. I like how it actually follows the story that's in the book. And it's not just like a wacky ass remake. Would I recommend anybody watching this? Yes. And better yet, you should probably read the book too, because the book is like 10,000 times scarier than the movie. It's just way more like... The book is just way more spooky, and you obviously get to use your own imagination, so... And the way that Stephen King describes grief and like pain of losing somebody is very, very... very, very terrifying. thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope I'll see you next time here. Subscribe for more horror movie reviews. Peace.